What's up everyone, how are you all? Today we are back with another blazing Naruto story. What if Naruto was secretly filming a Shinobi dating show? And all the contestants were his exes? If you enjoy, then please like, share and do comments. When he asked them to meet with him in one of the room in the Hokage Tower, Naruto was not sure that they would come at all. But before him sat Sakura, Sasuke, Brushy Brow's team, as well as Team 8 and 10. The only adult there was Iruka, who was there because both Naruto and Konohamaru asked him to be there. Speaking of the new academy student, he just came into the room with his two friends. Udon and Moegi entered the room. Konohamaru raced up and stood next to Naruto and grinned at him just like his role model at them all. Iruka had a feeling this was some sort of prank, especially with whatever was under the cloth on top of the desk on one side of the room. "Alright you two, what did you do?" Naruto laughed. "What made you think we did anything?" "Because I know you," was Iruka's response. Naruto rubbed the back of his head, knowing that Iruka was right. "Well, I guess I should start at the beginning." Konohamaru here was looking through one of his grandpa's old journals to try and understand what he went through as the third Hokage. What he found was a journal talking about that old crystal ball he always uses to keep an eye on the village. Konohamaru then went and pulled the cloth showing the crystal ball in question. Naruto went on before anyone could ask anything. "Anyway, when the old man made this, has found some incredible." "So what was it?" Sakura asked. Knowing if it was discovered by the third Hokage, then it had to be something they have never seen before. Konohamaru went next. Grandpa said he was able to see the village but not his village. "What do you mean?" Kiba asked. "Did he see Iwa or something?" The pair shook their heads. "Nope, it was still Konoha, but it was different," Naruto said, confusing everyone. Shikamaru sighed. "So troublesome, makes sense. Naruto, will ya?" Naruto stretched his head. He thought he was. So he decided to tell them what the old man saw. The old man talked about seeing the village like it was before the Kyuubi attacked. The fourth was still alive and everything. At first he thought he was looking into the past, that is until he saw us. This caused the group to stare at them. "Explain," Shino asked simply. Naruto nodded. "We were there as genin, but the attack never happens." He then said he discovered a way to see something he called alternated realities. He peeked into a few other worlds and they were different in some way. Some major to some very small. They were stunned at such a discovery. Iruka was the first to recover. "That's amazing. To think such things exist." Naruto nodded. "Yep, after Konohamaru showed me, I thought it would be cool to look for ourselves. And we finally managed to get it to work." Their attention was to the crystal ball at once. "You can see other worlds?" Moegi asked excitedly, and she was not the only one. Naruto nodded with a grin. "Yep, I peeked into a few worlds and man was I in for a surprise." Lee grinned at his friend. "So what youthful world did you see, Naruto?" Naruto got a happy but content look on his face. "I saw a world where I got a brother, or someone who is close enough to be. We trained in a strange new kind of jutsu. I did not look at it for long to fully understand it, but I can show you guys later." Sakura understood why they were here. "You want to show us some of these worlds?" Naruto nodded. "Yep. I figure why should me and Konohamaru be the only one to enjoy it? I want you guys to see all the awesome worlds as well, believe it." Sasuke just sat there wondering if he should just leave and get to training. Then he had a strange thought. He was sure that he was not the only version of himself whose brother killed off his family. Maybe seeing some of the worlds, he could see different training methods he probably never thought of before. He could also see some battles with Itachi and see if he could find a weakness he could exploit. "I guess I can stick around." Sakura smiled. "This could be really cool. Who knows how we are different from our counterparts." Ino smirked at her friend. "Yeah, forehead, you could end up marrying with Naruto while I keep Sasuke for myself." Sakura glared at her. "Yeah right, piggy." Shikamaru sighed. "Troublesome, but she's right. You could end up with Naruto just like any other girl we know or don't know. It is a different world, so who knows what we will see." Hinata blushed thinking of the fact Naruto could end up dating her. "Maybe this is my chance to show Naruto how I feel. But can I really do it? Will he think I'll really feelings for him?" Naruto frowned, knowing that one or two of the worlds he peeks in had different place where he found love. One world he was older, an adult even, and from what he could tell was going to be having a baby with Sakura. It was a shame that version of him would not be there to see her grow up. Then there was that other strange girl he never met before that also had a baby with him. I wonder if I will find out who what girl is. It was a shame I died in that one, but I could find so much out that I might never have found out before. Like maybe who my mom and dad could be. Iruka was worried for Naruto as his biggest secret had the potential of getting out by seeing it. He went up to Naruto as he got ready to start the crystal ball viewing. "Hey Naruto, are you sure this is okay?" he whispered. "Everyone could find out your secret and I don't want you getting hurt." Naruto glanced back at everyone who was talking to one another all excited. Naruto smiled. "I trust these guys, Iruka-sensei. Besides, I should be able to handle it, believe it." Iruka smiled and went back at his seat as Naruto started to pump chakra into the crystal ball. "Now I found 2 ways to show the worlds. One, take little chakra and we would have to look into the ball to see it, but this way we would see the best view." Light shined from the ball and the room around them started to change like they were in a genjutsu. More detail came into view and every looked around stunned at what was happening. "This is a world I never looked at, so hold on to your headbands cause here we go." The image cleared up and they found themselves in the back lot of a house. They found the houses around them strange looking as they looked to be made of stone, but a more modern look than their own world. They saw 2 girls fighting creatures they never seen before. 2 large creatures bigger than most men they seen, not counting Kwaije's family, and yellow and blue skin, not to mention kinda ugly looking. Ino and Sakura looked like they were going to be sick just looking at them. Then there were numerous little red creatures that looked like little gremlins or something similar. Neji was looking at the 2 human-looking girls. He counted the wings on the blonde as some sort of bloodline limit, and say he did not recognize them. "Who are these 2? He asked aloud, getting everyone else to look at the 2 girls. "I've never seen them before. Perhaps they are finds of ours?" Hinata asked. "I am sure we will find who they are soon." Before they could reply, they watched as the fight took off, drawing their attention. Bloom managed to lure the tiny little ghouls from Stella to the outside, but the fairy princess that she helped earlier that day was smashed through the window of her house. It seemed to start as a normal day until she met Stella of Solaria and unconsciously used magic. The blue-skinned troll that attacked them moved out of the house towards them. "We really need some help," Bloom thought as Stella smirked and said, "Don't worry, I called the heroes." The ogre that was there had been tossed out by Stella, right on the miniature monsters. Bloom started helping Stella up, but the troll was right next to them until from out of nowhere, a purple-colored whip end restrained the beast. Bloom looked to where the end of the whip was and saw 5 boys her age in semi-tight uniforms and capes in the same color with transparent swords of different looks and colors. Lee grinned and gave them a thumbs up, which the heroes could not see. "Yosh, such youthful outfits and armor. I love the cape added to them. Perhaps Guy-sensei would enjoy adding capes to our own jumpsuits." He did not see the look of horror on his teammates' faces as some of the others, like the fashionable Ino and Sakura. Tenten decided to let him down gently. "Maybe not, Lee, wouldn't capes slow you down or get caught? Then how would you fight?" As Lee thought about it, Tenten looked at the strange swords. "Still, I wonder what kinds of swords are those. Are they any good?" Hinata, Naruto, the Konohamaru Corp. And Iruka, however, was looking at one of the heroes. "Hey boss, that's you." Konohamaru cried out, pointing at a slightly older Naruto. Naruto blinked before he grinned. "Well, what do you know, it is." Hinata blushed, noticing how handsome Naruto looked. "Guys, I'm ready," said the brown-haired boy with the glasses, Timmy, as he held a gun-like device. "Let's take this beast to jail where he belongs," said the blonde-haired boy next to him, Brandon, as he readied his Phanto shield and long sword. "What's the rush? I say we have some fun first," the purple-haired boy, Riven, said as he held the whip with a short blade. "This is our first mission, Riven, so I wouldn't be so if I were you." Brown-haired Sky said as another blonde, with cat-like slits in his bright blue eyes and 3 whisker marks on his tan cheeks, added, "Sky's right, Riven. Stay focused on the mission." He held his Phanto katana at the ready. Bloom watched the heroes fight, but she could not take her eyes off the blonde boy with the whisker marks on his cheeks. Iruka noticed and could not help but smile seeing someone interested in Naruto in this world. He wished her the best of luck if this Naruto was as dense as the one he called a brother. The one that had the troll in the whips was pulled and thrown over its head and he landed on his back. The troll kept charging and the Brandon used his shield to block all of the blows, sending shock waves around from each hit. Sky jumped and slashed the ground, causing it to split. Timmy fired 3 blasts from his gun and the troll was off balance trying to keep from falling into the new canyon below it. The last boy that Bloom was watching the most then jumped high into the air and did a bicycle kick right on top of the troll's head. It fell into the ground. The ninja were impressed on how they took that thing down so easily. Even Sasuke as they asked did it with only weapons and taijutsu. Lee could not contain himself, like he ever could, and shouted, "Yosh!" Such youthful teamwork. I must tell Guy-sensei so he may help our team show as much teamwork as this team does. Neji frowned thinking of a way to stop Lee from going overboard. Tenten was grinning seeing the weapons in action. Now that is impressive. I wish I had one sword like that. As the guy high-five each other, Riven got up and attacked the ghouls. As he threw one off him, the ogre punched him sending him flying. As the ogre turned to the other boys he was knocked to the ground but the energy blast by Bloom and Stella. Sasuke raised a brow. He wondered what kind of jutsu they used. They did not even use any hand signs for them. He got up and saw that he was surrounded. He then clapped his hands and teleported himself and some ghouls away. Stella said, "Bloom, these are the guy from Red Fountain I was talking about, Riven, Timmy, Prince Sky, Brandon." Then she turned to the blonde one, "And this is Naruto." "Red Fountain?" Naruto asked confused. "Maybe it is the new ninja program or village." Iruka suggested. "They don't look like they are from any village we know, so it must be their home." The others nodded, seeing their sensei was making sense. "Nice to meet you, Bloom," Naruto said as he held out his hand. Bloom blushed as she shook his hand. Then the troll started to climb out of the hole, rubbing its head. One of the boys placed a collar on it and Ring appeared and trapped him. They made it float in the air and Bloom asked, "Where are you guys taking him?" "Back to Red Fountain." "See you at Alphia, Bloom," Naruto said as the heroes and the troll disappeared. "That was awesome," Naruto said, liking how cool his counterpart was. Then he had a thought. "I wonder if we will see anyone else we know." "I'm sure we will, Naruto," Sakura answered, wondering how cool she would look. It was morning as Bloom's father was sweeping up the mess that happened with the ogre and the troll. "You know, it would be easy for me to fix this with a spell," Stella offered as she walked in the door. The man shook his head and said, "Thanks, but I prefer it the old-fashioned way." "Bloom's ready to go," his wife said as she appeared with her daughter, with a big suitcase all packed up. The man looked at his daughter and said, "Are you sure about this, sweetie?" "Yes, Dad. I'm going with Stella to the Alphia School for Fairies in the Realm of Magics," Bloom said softly, but determined. Sakura grinned. "That sounds pretty cool. I wonder what they would learn there." Naruto, however, frowned. "Wait, if that is a school that Stella goes to, so does that mean that Red Fountain is another school?" Shikamaru thought it made sense but did not answer as he knew Naruto would overreact. Kiba, however, seemed to have missed that memo as he grinned at his friend. "Looks like it, buddy." Naruto groaned aloud. "Come on. I just got out of the academy, why do I have to go back?" Iruka chuckled. "Don't worry, Naruto, you aren't going back. I think this is a different school for your counterpart. Besides, I think it is doing him some good from what I saw." Naruto grinned. "Yeah, he's pretty cool, believe it. Call us as soon as you get there, and let us know everything." "I still can't believe we agreed to this. What if you get sick? What if you meet these monsters again?" "Dad, I'll be careful. I promise," Bloom said, stopping her father's worried rant. Her mother hugged her and said, "Bloom, we love you very much, and please come home as soon as the session's over next summer. We'll miss you. And I'll miss you both so much." Bloom was getting ready to go when her father said, "Did you really think I'd let you go without checking the place out for myself?" She was happily surprised at this. It's not usually allowed, but rules were made to be broken. Stella said after Bloom's father got his firefighter's jacket. Iruka chuckled knowing that Naruto would agree with her. Team 7 could agree with Stella for the right reason, like Kakashi taught them. Stella then turned her ring into a long, rod-like scepter and transported herself, Bloom, and Bloom's parents to a forest just outside Alphia. The group was in awe at the beautiful building and some of them wondered if they could learn there. Bloom stared up at the school. She was sad her parents could not get a closer look at this place because of the barrier, cause those images did not do Alphia any justice. She then noticed one of the teachers checking students' names off a checkboard as they come in. "Stella, my name is not on the list." "Don't worry, my friend Princess Victoria was going to come here but decided to homeschool instead. I was going to give a letter to the head mistress, but I think we will just keep this to ourselves." No one here knows what she looks like, so we are golden. As they got closer, Stella said, "That is Griselda, the head of discipline." "As you should know, Stella. How we let you back in I will never know," Griselda said, spying them. "Reminds me of Iruka-sensei," Naruto muttered. Iruka got a twitch in his brow. "Thanks, Naruto," he muttered, annoyed. "Maybe it was the new computer lab my parents sent?" Stella said with a smile. Griselda glared. After getting checked out and the new class got the directions to their dorms, Stella and Bloom found their room. "I hope we get better roommates than I did last year." Talk about major problem with their wardrobe. "I shouldn't have that problem as I will be getting a single room." Stella," Bloom said before she pointing to the sign which had Stella's name as well as another name on it, meaning, "What? I have a roommate. Mom's willing to give you another chance, but she thought that I could keep you out of trouble," said a voice behind them. They turned to see a girl about their age with long bright pink hair. Named Sakura. Sakura blinked, seeing an older version of herself. She cheered and pumped her fist. "Cha! Take that, piggy. I am a student at this cool school." Both Ino and Hinata frowned, pouted seeing Sakura there. They did not even know if they were there yet. "Damn, forehead is a student there, so unfair." Naruto grinned seeing how the older Sakura looked. "Wow, Sakura, you look even hotter than before." Sakura grinned, as she agreed her older self was hot, plus as her counterpart was older than her, which means she still had time to look as hot. "Thanks, Naruto." Hinata looked sad but hoped Naruto found her older self attractive. Then she remembers something the other Sakura said. Sakura? It sounds like your mother is in charge of the school." Sakura blinked and remembered what her counterpart said. "Hey, you're right. I wonder how that will work. I'm Bloom. Bloom is a name I like a lot, but it's not really my name. I'm Victoria V. Valisto," Bloom said hastily as she shook Sakura's hand. Sakura looked at her oddly, but didn't say anything else. "Let's go meet our dorm mates Victoria-san and Stella. Just because the school got a new mystic computer lab doesn't change the damage done to the potions lab." She then got scarily angry as she put her emerald eyes right up in Stella's brown. "You caused so much damage that the school is still cleaning up, and the lab won't be used for another month." Iruka blinked before he felt sorry for the teachers there. "For some reason I can't help but think that is something you would do, Naruto." Naruto pouted and crossed his arms. "I bet I would do it for a cooler reason. She probably did it for some stupid reason like to make more pink so something." Kiba, Choji and Lee laughed. "Not the point, Naruto," Iruka muttered. "What's all this commotion?" a girl with magenta-colored hair asked as she exited a room with an Asian-looking girl with black pigtails. "Yeah, it's messing with my groove," the pig-tailed girl said as another girl came out with long brown hair and a kind expression. "Sorry, but Miss Genius here was bitching me out about the potions lab," Stella said as Sakura was a little sheepish. "Sorry about that," she said as she then got a serious look and added, "Now, please place your luggage in your room and follow me so we can be on time for orientation. It's only the first day, so no real classes. My name's Sakura and I hope you enjoy your education at Alphea." "Name's Musa," the pig-tailed girl said as the brown-haired one came up next. "My name is Flora and I'm happy to meet you all." "I am Tekna, and it is a pleasure to meet you." The girls introduced each other and followed Sakura and Stella to the auditorium where the various teachers were there as an elderly woman with a kind-hearted appearance stood at the podium and began her speech. "Hello to one and all new students. I am Faragonda, the headmistresses of Alphea College for Fairies. This castle shall be your home for the next 5 years, and as you study the powers of your magic you may find your life's calling. Many of you may use your magical powers to fight evil, aid the sick, or even aid others in all sorts of situations. While most of you have received a student handbook that lists your classes, and has a guideline for behavior as a student of Alphea, there is one thing I must press as extra precaution. Stay away from Cloud Tower. There is no punishment as the witches may come up with something far worse than anything that Griselda, head of discipline, or myself would ever hand out. As there are no classes for today, you are free to explore to be more familiar with Alphea. You are all dismissed, and have a pleasant year here at Alphea." She ended the speech by teleporting out in a flash of light, taking many students by surprise as they left to explore the place. The group was stunned at the speech. Some were thinking of how magic could help them out in the life of a shinobi. Ino blinked. "Look at the headmistress. Why is your mom so old, Sakura?" Sakura frowned but could not answer. "I don't know, but I'm sure we will find out later." Bloom decided to hang out with her new dorm mates. They dorm mates all talked and gotten to know each other before Stella suggested that they head into town for a pizza. Whatever that is, I know ramen is better. Not now, Naruto. Bloom was nervous. She did not like lying to all her friends but knew she could not stay if she did not. The town was not what she expected. It was almost normal and futurist at the same time. The shinobi was watching the town as it was nothing like their own. This is so strange, Tenten said. But so cool, Konohamaru shouted, which everyone could agree on. Hinata then noticed something as the view focuses on the inside of a store. Isn't that the guy Naruto and the other guys were fighting? The group looked and saw the yellow ogre. Yeah, you're right, Hinata. Kiba said before he tried to hold back a snicker, but what is he wearing? They appeared to be glasses, Kiba, Shino replied. Naruto snicker aloud with Kiba, yeah, for a girl. In a store that sold eyeglasses, Canute was trying on different pairs, as he did not like his frames too well. His pair was pink and had flower on the side. How are these? Do they bring out the color of my eyes? He asked the salesperson as he looked in the mirror by the window. Due to the glasses, he notices that Stella and Bloom were walking by. Did you see that? The salesman said he also saw the girls and the ogre ran out the shop. The salesman screamed for him to come and pay for the glasses. In an ally, he made a call on his cell. The woman on the other line answered. You better have a good reason for calling or I will turn you into something you did not think possible. That can't be good, Shoji muttered, nervous about the girl talking. You aren't the only one, so troublesome. I saw the princess with the Solaria ring and the Earth girl in town. Canute said. The woman grinned, good medicine witch's ally. Bloom groaned as she nearly blew her cover again with her cell phone she gave to Tecna. She was offered Tecna's calling card before a voice behind them said, so the rumors are true. Sunspot is back in Alphia. Sasuke blinked, seeing the new girl. Mom? Does this mean she survived as well? Everyone looked at the young girl before the girls. Naruto tilted his head, confused. Really? Iruka frowned. While he only talked to her once and when she picked her son up from school, he could see that she did look like Makoto Uchiha. But there was some wrong with this picture. Sasuke, I don't think that's your mother. Sasuke frowned. What do you mean? Well, she looks about the same age as the other girls. So unless she was younger than before, then that is not your mother. Sasuke frowned but had to fight to keep the feelings he had down. She looks so much like her. Who is she then? What do you want, Sasuke? Stella asked as the girls looked over to a new girl that had walked in next to them. She is an attractive girl with curves that seemed to be accented by her outfit of black denim pants and a dark blue shirt with a red and white fan woven on the stomach area. Her dark eyes were seen as she lowered her shades just a tad. She had a tomato in her hand as she bit into it. Ha 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 ha. Sasuke glared as most of the boys besides Shino, Iruka and Neji were laughing hard. Although if you look, Neji had an amused grin on his face. What the hell? Sasuke muttered, his eyes twitching madly, wondering what was going on. He then turned to the laughing boys. Stop laughing. He shouted at them, but that did nothing to halt their laughter. Sakura and Ino were stunned, wide-eyed at this bit of news. If Sasuke is a girl, then does that mean we never went through that trouble in the academy? Sakura asked. Ino shrugged, no idea. We may like her as a girl still or her friends. Heck, we could still stop being friends over a different guy. I can't help but wonder if Naruto did this on purpose. Sakura shook her head, recovering. No, he said it himself, he never seen this world. Besides, she gained a deadpan look. There is no way he would keep this quiet without blowing it. Ino nodded, getting the same look. Yeah, Naruto is bad at secrets. How big of a secret can he keep? Naruto stopped mid-laugh to sneeze, which happened to be in Sasuke's face as had he grabbed the blonde by the collar. This was the last straw before he tackled the blonde to the ground and the two started to wrestle. Iruka finally broke the two apart. Now can we get back to this before anything else happens? Sure, sensei, the boys muttered as the guys quitted down. Kiba made one last jab at Sasuke, seeing as he might not get another chance. So if the girl there got her looks from your mom, does that mean she was hot too? It took several minutes to get Sasuke off of Kiba with no help as the guys were in another round of laughs. Kiba got himself a black eye, but he would say it was worth it. I just decided to check out the fresh fairy meat for Alphia. I'm not as surprised as I should be that you're back, considering what you did to the potions lab, she said with a smirk. Bloom and the others were curious about this, except Sakura, But Tekna spoke. I have two queries. 1. Isn't Sasuke a man's name? And 2. What exactly happened to the potions lab? You better not tell them, you witch. This shocked most of them as they started whispering to each. We're not supposed to be associating with her. Musa whispered, but Sakura stopped it. Look girls, we're all freshmen here and Sasuke's been my best girlfriend since we started living here. Sakura smiled, seeing that while she could not be with Sasuke in that world, she was at least her friend. It's rude to whisper about me when I'm right in front of you, and as for what happened to the lab, Sunspot over there blew it up trying to develop a new shade of pink. It also got her expelled for the year. Heard it was so bad that the staff's still trying to clean it up. Thanks Blossom. Tomato? Sasuke said the last part to Sakura and offered part of the tomato. Sakura shook her head while saying, no, but thanks anyway. She then thought about something else. I'd ask if you'd join us for pizza, but we already ate. It's cool Sakura. Besides, I better be going. Don't want to be seen hanging with a bunch of loser fairies. Sayonara, Sasuke said before conjuring a portal of pure darkness and stepped through it. Okay, that was kinda cool. Naruto muttered. She gives me the willies. Musa said as she shivered a bit. She seems nice for a witch, but she is scary. Flora said, seeing the better side of things. She is just plain creepy, and I have no idea why she was so nice to Sakura and let us go like that. Tekna said, adding her 2 cents in. Sakura sighed at this before talking, that's just how she is. We've been friends since we were kids, and she's really sweet once you get to know her. Yeah, deep down in that black hole she calls a heart. Stella said as she huffed a bit. Kiba snorted, wow, she hates you like you and Naruto does. Sasuke glared at him, still made from the last comment from before. Sakura was mad that her friend was being insulted. You're still pissed at the idea that Naruto preferred a witch over you? By the dragon, you need to grow up. Naruto and Sasuke were stunned, and they weren't the only ones. Naruto and Sasuke glared at one another, not liking this fact. Shikamaru sighed, so troublesome, knock it off you two. It's not really you two and one of you's is a girl anyways. It should not be that much of a surprise, but don't go overboard. The two huffed and turned their heads while the others sighed. All the other guys, besides Sasuke, could agree that the female Sasuke was pretty hot. Bloom remembered something and said, shoot. I need to call my parents. Tekna, can I borrow that card? Tekna nodded and handed her the card. Bloom said a quick thanks and dashed off to the nearest interdimensional phone. Yeah mom, it has been great, nothing really changed since I last called you, 2 hours ago. She then spotted Canute walking by and said, hey mom, wouldn't it be better if I call you tomorrow? No, it's nothing, I am just using a friend's calling card, so I think I should just call tomorrow, bye. Bloom hung up the phone, pulled the card out, and then followed the ogre to an alleyway and hid behind 2 trash cans. 3 witches waited for him. The tallest one with a high white ponytail muttered, well? I saw the princess and the earth girl down Wand Avenue. Canute said, point towards Bloom, who ducked thinking she was spotted. The one of the witches sensed something. Girls, we have an uninvited guest. The leader smirked, take care of it, she ordered. The first witch made a sign and a violet outline was around her before splitting from her and became a copy. The ninja raised a brow, wondering how their jutsu and these spells are alike. Bloom figured that she was not spotted, tried to look over the trash cans, but the ogre blocked her view. She did not see a witch was now behind her. Bloom grinned as the ogre moved before she was blasted in the back, but an energy blast, and was knocked in front of the witches. That's her. That's the earth girl, screamed Canute. Who are you? Bloom asked as she was brought before the 3 witches, one of them being the long-haired witch that attacked her. We are witches from Cloud Tower, said the leader, an older girl with icy silver hair. Icy. And we're senior witches. Nobody messes with senior witches, said the attacker. They talked in a mocking tone as the silver-haired one said, if you tell us where your friend, Stella, is, then we might forgive you. Bloom was trapped between the ogre and 3 witches. Don't do it, Naruto muttered, taking a liking to Bloom and not wanting her to betray her friends. Stay strong. Back off, I have magic powers, Bloom said as she sent a bit of magic in the form of dust towards them. Unfortunately, the magic failed to reach them. That poor girl barely has any wings. Let me show you what real magic looks like, the silver-haired one said as she started her own magic up. It was shining much more powerfully than the dust that Bloom sent. Icicles formed and caged Bloom as one of them said, "It's witch up time." And the long, brown-haired one added an attack that shattered the ice and sent Bloom flying back. The last witch, whose hair was dark blue and frizzy, sent a miniaturized tornado at Bloom while she was down. Bloom was sent flying and grabbed on a ledge. "Get down here," the silver-haired witch said, causing Bloom to fall before she spoke once more. "I hate to be a total witch about it, but I'm running out of patience." She then put Bloom in a coffin of ice and chuckled before saying, "Fairies can't last long on ice. So you better start talking now. Tell us where Stella is." She even scratched her nails on the ice, making a sound equivalent to nails on a chalkboard. Sasuke and Naruto were reminded of Haku and his attacks. They felt lucky that Haku was never as cold or cruel as this girl. "I'm right here." Stella, Tecna, Musa, Flora, and Sakura were there in the alley ready to fight. "Let her go right now," Sakura said as the silver-haired witch looked at them. "Yeah right. Canute, time for you to crush those losers." Canute the ogre roared at this command, but the girls wouldn't let him crush them. He rushed them and they managed to dodge and transform at the last minute. Tecna's clothes changed to a one-piece with cybernetic wings on her back and a helmet for the futuristic look. Musa's new outfit had wings with a red top and skirt with boots. Flora's outfit changed to an elegant flowery dress. Stella's change included an orange top with shorts with her hair becoming twin ponytails. And Sakura's transformation was a cherry blossom pink short kimono with shinobi sandals with a cherry blossom choker and pinkish, transparent dragonfly wings. The girls were in awe and some of the boys were amazed. Moegi was a bit sad as she also wanted to be like those girls. Sakura pumped her fist. "Cha! That is so cool. Look at me. I can't believe that is happening." Naruto nodded and knew Sakura was strong there, not that she was weak in his opinion. Digital web. Tecna launched beams of green light from both her hands. The attack struck the ogre and imprisoned him in a net-like sphere of green light. Sonic blast. Two purple speakers formed on either side of the sphere and blasted the imprisoned ogre with sound. The sphere wavered and became unstable. "Blossom storm," cried Sakura, and a bunch of sakura petals appeared and spun around the trapped ogre. He kept crying out, "Ow, ow, 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 ow," as he was getting cut all over. Ivy rope. Flora blew several streaks of dust from her hand. They landed at the feet of the ogre and entangled him with vines and launched him into the distance. "Impressive attacks," Neji observed. Shino nodded, "Indeed, not to mention how their attacks are working together as a team would to defeat their foe without simply overpowering it." What a blockhead," Icy said. The three witches turned to face the five determined fairy. Icy launched several more ice crystals at them. "Get behind me," Tecna yelled. Firewall. A green shield sprouted from her arm, blocking the icicles. "Sisters, leave them to me." Stormy extended her index finger towards the shield and fired a bolt of purple lightning at them. The attack blasted all the fairies back. Icy gathered energy to freeze the whole area. Stella had her specter out and gathered energy as well. As Icy launched her attack, Stella teleported everyone, even the frozen Bloom, away from there. The whole area was frozen but the fairies were gone. Stella was warming Bloom up with her sun magic away from the witches, still in fairy form. "It's okay. You could have survived at least another 15 minutes. You know, considering you're from Earth and all you did splendidly outstanding, Bloom," Stella said while the other girls were still there. "And she blew her cover, real nice." Ino muttered. "Yeah, she would never make it in the ninja world." Sakura added. Shikamaru glanced at the two of them and did not bother to say anything. The mere mention of Sasuke or that he might be interested in them may cause them to break their cover. "Those two are so troublesome." "Stella," the four girls said in unison as Stella nervously turned around. "Why did you just call her Bloom and say she was from planet Earth?" Flora asked with her hands on her hips looking over them. Right. There are some tiny minor details that we need to go over. I'll tell you on the way back to Alphia." "You better, Stella. You lied to the school about Bloom's identity, and we're breaking curfew. Mom's gonna be so mad at us." Sakura was angry as she said it. They went back to Alphia and got the whole story from Stella, from her ambush up to her little scheme to smuggle the red-headed Earth girl in as someone else. Once they got to Alphia, all of them were being quiet. "I want to tell Ms. Farragonda the truth," Bloom said as they made their way across the courtyard. Stella's reply to it was, "We'll talk about it later." For now just follow me. Freeze! Came the voice of Ms. Griselda as she and the others stopped. We're in trouble, Sakura said as she looked at her mother and the head of discipline. Do you ladies have any idea what time it is? Griselda said, looking at all of them in a very stern manner. We were worried about you girls. Now go to bed right away and we'll talk about this tomorrow morning. Faragonda said as they walked up, but Bloom was stopped when Griselda said, Stop right there, Princess Victoria V. Valisto. What did you want to tell Miss Faragonda? Everyone stopped there as Bloom mustered her courage and replied, My name's not really Victoria, and I'm not from Valisto. You lied to us, Griselda said as Bloom apologized, but continued, You have broken 2 rules in one day on the first day here. She did, but she must be a magical creature or the barrier wouldn't let her into magics. So tell us, who are you, and why did you lie to us? Faragonda interrupted softly, but Stella spoke up, Don't blame her. It was my idea to begin with. Yes, Stella, go stand up for your friend. Naruto cheered for her as the Konohamaru added their shouts of encouragement to them. Iruka chuckled at Naruto, You do know they can't hear you, right? It's okay, Stella. My name is Bloom and I come from Earth. Earth as in planet Earth? How could that be possible? Griselda said, interrupting Bloom, but the redhead continued after that, Please don't send me away. I know I belong here. This is the most amazing place with the most amazing people ever. Well, you must be punished. Turned into something slimy. Hold on, Griselda. It must have taken a lot of courage for her to tell the truth. I believe she deserves a chance at least, and Princess Victoria is absent, leaving a vacancy in classes. Faragonda said with a knowing look in her eyes. Naruto blinked. You know, she reminded me of the old man Hokage. Iruka and Konohamaru nodded. I agree, she does give that same feeling, fair but ready to defend what they hold dear to them. Sakura watched her mother and thought the same thing. Maybe she is as powerful as well. I wonder what I could learn under her. It's true, Miss Griselda. Since Victoria of Valisto is being homeschooled this year, we have at least 1 vacancy, and it wouldn't hurt if someone else filled the void. Sakura said, and Griselda resigned from punishing them with one last word to them from Faragonda, Now go to bed, and please try to be good. Yes, ma'am, Mom, was the simultaneous reply from the girls as they went to the dorms to get some sleep, for tomorrow the hard work of learning magic would begin. The image faded and the room became the same it was again. That was interesting, Tenten said, breaking the silence. Naruto nodded. Yeah, I wonder who else we will get to see there. He then smirked, and we will get to see more of our girly friend Sasuke. Sasuke growled while the boys started to laugh again. Damn you, Naruto. The image appeared and they found themselves in a classroom that looked different than what they were used to in the academy. They found Sakura, Bloom and the other girls and sat quietly wanting to see a magic lesson. Welcome and good morning to one and all. I'm Professor Whizgiz, and I'll be teaching metamorphosis. Metamorphosis is the art of changing your body. Professor Whizgiz said as he turned into a smiling Griselda, causing the class to giggle before returning to his original form. Big deal, we can do that, Kiba said, unimpressed. Shino shook his head. Actually, from what I can see, he simply did that without a single hand sign or charka. Such a skill would be of great value. Some of you wonder why metamorphosis is important. You look like you know Sakura, he added as he pointed to Sakura. She stood up and said, Metamorphic magic is useful if discretion is needed and is used in case you needed to help someone in secret. It can also be used to hide from potential pursuers in a pinch. Sakura said without missing a beat. That's correct, but since this is the first class, we'll work on something small. This exercise focuses on using magic to change the color of your hair. Now take the mirrors and concentrate on the color of your hair. The girls did as the professor said and looked in the mirror and concentrated. Most of the girls were successful in the change, but Bloom failed. She put down the mirror as Whizgiz hopped over to her seat and said, Don't worry, Bloom, and if at first you don't succeed, try again. She smiled at the simple advice and noticed some of the others changed their hair color as well. Sakura managed to turn her hair as black as Sasuke's with red tips before switching back to her usual pink hair, until class was over, that is. The girls sat at the long table eating lunch with Bloom all upset cause all her attempts were not working. I was the only one that couldn't do it. Naruto gave her a sad smile. He could feel for her, remembering all the years in the academy where he was behind everyone. I'm sure you'll get it. Sakura said, remember you just recently found out you have magic. The other girls knew all their lives, so it makes sense they get something simple. Before you know it, you will be ahead of everyone else. Bloom smiled, thankful for her help. Then the headmistress Faragonda called out, "Your attention please, I have a very exciting announcement to make." All eyes were now on her. As the Alfea tradition, we will kick off the new school year with a formal dance. It will take place tomorrow night and our guest will be Red Fountain School for heroics and bravery. We hope to be friendly hostesses and make them feel right at home. But not too friendly, Miss Griselda stated as she glared at the girls. Love spells and crush potions are forbidden. Sakura and Ino frowned, knowing that woman was going to take the fun away from everyone. Then they glanced at Sasuke, wondering if those spells and potions will work on him. But dancing is encouraged and the boys will bring gifts for all. I know you all will have a lovely time. I remember my first dance at Alfea. I met my husband there. Anyway, it will be an evening full of enchantment. The girls started talking. Wow, won't that be great? Flora asked, excited. Yeah, mom's always talking about the dances, and how she met dad there, Sakura said. Sakura, Bloom started, not to sound rude, but how come you're so young when your mom's so old? Yeah, that's what I want to know. Ino said, wanting to know the answer. Sakura waved her off. Oh, mom adopted me when she was visiting the Shinobi realm. Shinobi realm? Asked Bloom, but the other were excited. Wait, you're from there? Asked Stella. Yep, I'm also on a genin team with Naruto and Sasuke. Sakura said with pride. Team 7 smiled, or in Sasuke's case smirked, at the fact they were still a team. Stella frowned, while Tecna thought about it. A fairy, a witch and a hero together on a genin team. That must be a first. Bloom frowned. Can someone explain what you guys are talking about? Sorry Bloom, but the Shinobi realm is a realm of ninja. Sakura is a genin, or the lowest rank in the ninja system. Tecna said. There are 3 genin on a team with a junin, or a high-ranking ninja, as the teacher or sensei. Like All in Black, stay in the shadows, ninja? Asked Bloom. The real ninja blinked. Is that what they think of us? Tenten asked, confused. Lee tried to picture himself and Guy in black jumpsuits and found it very unyouthful. Iruka chuckled. I guess in some worlds we are different than what they expect. Well, some missions are like that but others are not. Stella said. Some have different uniforms, and while they don't have magic, they have power that can make them even in a fight with magic users. Yeah, some ninja can use the element for their advantage and attack with, Sakura added. They also can learn powers over illusions or genjutsu and hand-to-hand combat or taijutsu. Wow, was all that Bloom could say, impressed. So which village are you from, Sakura? Asked Musa. Konoha, answered Sakura. Wow, I heard the tree there are so tall the tops couldn't be seen from the ground. Flora said in awe. At least someone is impressed with our village. Neji added, seeing the reactions of the other girls. Stella then asked, so you're with Naruto and Sasuke, they causing you problems? Sakura rolled her eyes. You really got to get over your attitude with Sasuke. I know witches cause problem with fairies, but why do you not like her, Stella? Asked Bloom. Sakura answered for her, well, put it this way, witches and fairies are like cats and dogs. Most cause problem with the other and some can get along. My mom can get along with the headmistress of Cloud Tower, most of the time. Plus Stella and Sasuke seem to really be like everyone else in the main group. Doesn't help that she is a pain in my ass, muttered Stella. More likely because you tried to flirt with Naruto and she kicked your ass without magic before we were even freshmen. Naruto blinked. Surprised that this one of these hot girls was flirting with him, but even more that Sasuke kicked her ass because of it. He was worried about what that meant. Sasuke felt a little sick and tried not to think about it. Plus she's got a few issues with her brother. She's also a whole lot nicer than most witches. You'd be a frog or something ugly with your current attitude. Sakura said as the lunch hour finished. Classes were cancelled to get ready for the party as they walked through the halls using magic to prep the place. The scene shifted and the new location was the opposite of Alfea. They looked around and they spotted Sasuke in the crowd. This must be the Cloud Tower, the school for witches. Shino observed. Nice place, Kiba said sarcastically. Meanwhile, Cloud Tower Academy for Witches was currently assembled for a meeting with Headmistress Griffin, the strongest witch in all of Magix. She stepped up to the podium and caught a glance of her personal favorite freshman. I doubt she'll want to participate, but it does a witch good to see such promise. The person she was thinking of was Sasuke, who was sitting between two freshman witches. One having a soft look for a witch and red hair with a pumpkin shirt, and the other having green hair and wasn't as attractive as the two girls nearby. I have called this meeting to share a bit of bad news. Alphea College for Fairies is hosting their annual dance, and once again we're not invited. They snubbed us and we should take revenge. For that purpose I issue you this challenge. Propose how you think we get those fairy brats crying. Those that wish to participate will submit your ideas to the faculty for review. You are dismissed, Griffin said as Sasuke just huffed. Choji took a bite of his chip bag before he elbowed Naruto gently. Sounds like you would do good here with one of your pranks. Naruto grinned. Yeah, hopefully the other me will pull a big one. It's not like we're not allowed, Sasuke said under her breath. The redhead heard it, but said nothing as Sasuke left for her classes. It's the first prank of the year, and Naruto would outclass everyone. Probably have every one of those red fountain boys nude without their manhood and all the girls naked. She thought as she passed the three trick sisters, Icy, Darcy, and Stormy. The dance would have its own surprise. Naruto blinked thinking of that suggestion. I'm not even sure I can manage that, he said disgruntled. The girls, beside Hinata and Moegi, glared at him. You better not try and get all the girls naked, Sakura warned. But that's not me, Naruto mumbled as the scene changed again. The girls were in their room trying on outfits for the dance while Bloom was still trying to work her winks and change her hair color. Sakura sat next to her after another fail attempt. You'll get it, Bloom. I don't know. Maybe I just don't have enough magic to use. Hey, don't give up. But seeing her down face, she got an idea. You know, Naruto wasn't always as good as he is. Really? Bloom asked amazed. Yeah, he was good at taijutsu, but his ninjutsu was under par. He failed the genin exams twice, but never once did I see him ever give up. Whenever he was down he got back up and said he was not going to stop till he did what he wanted to do. Now look at him, he's a powerful student at Red Fountain and a genin. He is the leader of our team if Kakashi-sensei cannot. Sakura put a hand on her shoulder. Just believe in yourself, that's how it all starts. Naruto could not help but smile. If this Naruto failed the exams almost as much as he did and still came out very strong and cool, then there was hope for him yet. Bloom smiled. Thanks, Sakura. Hey Sakura, any idea what the Red Fountain boy will be bringing? Asked Stella. Sakura snorted. I don't know about the boys, but I do know that Naruto will pull a big prank. What makes you think that? Flora asked. Cause he always does a big prank when they least expect it, like tonight. He's the biggest pranksters in the village. He even got me and Sasuke to help him with one. Naruto pouted here. He wished he got Sakura or some of his other friends to help pranking with him. So think it'll be good? Musa asked with a grin as she was always up for something funny. It will most likely be someone with a big ego and needs to be taken down a few pegs or a big group. They will be embarrassed for a few weeks, and anyone not hit will laugh a lot. Unless he is going for something unexpected, so I think the gifts are safe as that would be too easy for him. Bloom laughed before she remembered. Guys, I don't have a dress. Sakura and Ino frowned and felt for the girl. A girl always needed a good-looking dress for an occasion like this. Well, we have an easy fix for that, and it's called shopping, Stella said as they exited the dorm and headed to downtown for a shopping trip. Bloom tried one dress after another, but not everyone agreed. The one dress that the girls did agree on was too expensive for Bloom. Stella offered to pay for it, but Flora stopped her, suggesting that Bloom might be offended if she did. Meanwhile, 3 particular witches were in Miss Griffin's office. Various papers were there in the office. Ladies, the reason why I called you here is because out of all the ideas that were submitted, this atrocity stands out. It's depraved, immoral, and underhanded. In other words, it's the best. I expect you to commit to this, and failure is not an option, she said as she looked at the idea and the 3 smirking witches at the praise. Tenten frowned thinking of possibilities of what those witches would do. But she was sure any ideas she came up with were not even close to their plan. Yes, Miss Griffin. Tonight we sleep to the sound of crying fairies. Big promises from a trio of losers, Sasuke said as she stepped into the office. The Trick sisters turned and looked pissed at her as she stepped towards Griffin. Wow, even as a girl you piss people off, Naruto said, getting a glare from Sasuke. Like you're one to talk dope. Miss Uchiha, you were early for this. and I believe I taught you better than to insult those whose magical proficiency you are unsure about," Griffin said as she looked at the girl in front of her. Sasuke smirked as she looked at the headmistress and the three. I might change my mind if they can pull it off, but if they can beat Naruto of Red Fountain, then they'll have my respect. You wanted to see me? You three are dismissed. I wish to speak to Sasuke alone. The Trick sisters smirked as they left, whispering that she was in trouble. Sasuke looked at Griffin, who smirked at her. While I believe those three have the best plan, I do believe I also find yours to be one of the most simple yet most successful plan yet. Sasuke shrugged. It was Naruto's idea. He invited me, and the pixies can't do a thing and will be so freaked out and on their toes they won't know what'll hit them. Yes, shame he did not inherit his mother's powers. He would have made a fine student here. Naruto froze hearing about his mother. While he wondered who she was, he could not help but wonder if he could get some clues in these worlds. The others were silent, wondering who his mother could possibly be. Griffin said, thinking of one of her other students, Kushina. Kushina? Naruto whispered softly, testing the words on his lips. Somehow he felt a strong feeling to those words, like a feeling in his gut he knew them. She was a powerful witch and knew how to cause trouble with Alphia, Red Fountain, and even Cloud Tower. She was never caught and everyone knew it was her, but no one could ever prove it. So, any idea what kind of trouble he will cause at Alphia? No, answered Sasuke. He's keeping it under wraps, but he's unpredictable, so even if I could take a guess, I most likely will be wrong. Griffin frowned for not knowing any details. Fine, but I want pictures of it and details the next day. And try not to sabotage those three. Please, Sasuke replied as she started to leave, like I need to make them screw up. They can do that all by themselves. I bet Naruto would have a hand in messing them up, Kiba said, but no one was smiling. He glanced sadly at Naruto, who was still thinking of the woman's name that was mentioned. Maybe he should ask his mother if she knew a woman by that name. Bloom had managed to get a dress on sale and make it back to the dorm. I'm back, Kiko, and I managed to get something. It's too long, but if I had some scissors then I can make it work, she said as she started looking around. She couldn't find some and tried to cut it with her magic, but she heard something and looked out the window. It was the boys from Red Fountain, but before she could look too much she noticed her dress was on fire. She managed to put it out and checked the other girls' room for some scissors. The girls felt pity for her. She cannot just catch a break. Damn it, anytime you really need something you can never find it, Bloom said as she decided to leave the room and check elsewhere. Meanwhile, the dance was getting ready, but a number of girls just looked in fear and jealousy as one particular girl stood out. That girl was Sasuke Uchiha in a stunning backless black dress that was modest and at the same time while wearing a choker with the Uchiha fan. Everyone could not help but stare. The girls felt jealous while the guys had to remember that was supposed to be Sasuke. Sasuke had a twitchy eye seeing himself like that. Stella was pissed at her appearance. Why is that witch here? She asked as Sakura, wearing a white dress with a cherry blossom choker, said, Naruto gave me the heads up earlier. He invited her and that's why she's here, and knowing him he's roped her into a prank. Naruto blinked seeing Sakura. He smiled at her. Wow, Sakura, you look great in that dress. Sakura blushed. Thanks, Naruto, she muttered. She glanced at Sasuke to see his reaction, but he was still twitching seeing how he looked. The scene changed and they were now in a dark tunnel. I didn't know we would be walking. These heels are pinching my feet, Darcy said. They were moving underground through the old tunnels to Alphia with Icy in front with a flashlight, Darcy behind her with a map, and Stormy behind her with another flashlight. Don't start, Darcy, Icy said. Once we have the ring and rule you can take chariots everywhere. Fine, but please tell me we are almost there, muttered Darcy. You have the map, pointed out Stormy. Right, agreed Icy. Oh, we're almost there. Meanwhile, Bloom was looking all over the school for scissors. A whole school of magic and I can't find a pair of scissors. This is ridiculous. She's still looking? Ino asked, bewildered. She then heard something through a door to the side. What was that? She opened the door and started down the steps. I think we're very close, Darcy said as they found some stairs. Bloom saw them. Oh no, it's those witches. And she ran up the stairs before they saw her. No sooner did he leave the stair than witches moved to where she once was. The Trick sisters made their way down the halls with Darcy leading with her magic sense to the boy's gift. Down the hall and make a right. What they did not know is that Bloom is following them. They opened a door and found a chest with the red fountain symbol on it. Here it is, the red fountain gifts. Darcy said. They're so cheesy, I don't even know why the boys want to hang out with these losers. Well, it's not like we want to socialize with those nerds anyway. Icy said. We have better thing to do, but first Stormy, let's go. Stormy did a spell and the chest opened with golden eggs with bronze teardrops on them. Oh, Darcy muttered as she picked one up and it flashed gold and became many small golden butterfly and they fly off, enchanted little eggs. The girls were in awe seeing the gifts and wanted some like those. Neji raised a brow and wondered if they were some sort of genjutsu. They will be the most memorable gifts these losers will ever receive. Icy said before the sisters started their spell, turn the enchanted into the cursed. Give them a bite that will make them puke first. The eggs will hatch and snake rats appear, Darcy added. And cause panic, nausea and terrible fear. Stormy finished. They all cased their spell. A bright light went over the eggs and they shifted to yellow eggs with orange spirals around them. That can't be good, Konohamaru said, to which the others nodded. No, Konohamaru, it doesn't. Iruka agreed. That is so awful. Bloom whispered to herself so the sister could not hear her. Their spell done, the tricks started to walk away. Those princesses won't know what bit them. Oh no, I've got to tell the others. Bloom said as she rushed towards the main hall where the dance was being held. She decided to avoid attention by crawling on the floor looking for the other girls, but bumped into a certain whiskered blonde. Hi Bloom, nice to see you, but it looks like you could use a hand. Naruto said, offering a hand, getting her up on her feet. She blushed a bit and said, Hey Naruto. Would you like to dance with me? He asked, and Sasuke showed up nearby. I didn't think you'd be here, Sasuke, and sorry Naruto, I can't really dance right now. I've gotta find the others. Bloom said as Sasuke pointed towards a glaring Stella hanging out with the others girls. They're right over there, and I'm only here because Naruto invited me. Otherwise I'd still be at Cloud Tower thinking of better ways to torture annoying princesses. Sasuke said with a smirk as Bloom went off to them. Naruto did look at Bloom for a bit before going back to the dance and Sasuke glaring at a few fairies with a knowing, predatory smirk on her face. Anyone else of that smirk? Naruto asked aloud. Most of the girls raised their hands slightly and Naruto nodded. Good, then it's not just me. Hey girls. Bloom said, panting a bit from running. Tekna was the first to reply. What took you so long? She asked in a truly curious fashion. Flora noticed the distress and asked, what's the matter? Bloom brought them outside the main room. Those senior witches from Cloud Tower are here, and they have a plan to sabotage the dance. Bloom said as Stella huffed, what are they going to do? I bet that witch Sasuke is in on it. Wow, she sounds like Naruto blaming me for everything. Probably just as annoying, Sasuke said, getting nodded while Naruto pouted. Let's at least hear what's going on before we start accusing people, Stella. Sakura said harshly and signaled Bloom to continue. I heard them cast a spell on the gifts the boys were going to give us. They said something about a snake rat. Tekna thought about it and opened her hand. I'll consult the database. Snake rats live in swamps and eat toads. Their venom is capable of causing nauseous vomiting seconds after biting. Ew, was the girl's response. I'm glad those are not real. Sakura added, sticking her tongue out. Gross me out. Musa said as Sakura then decided to speak. It's not something Naruto or Sasuke would work on. The first reason is that it's too cruel. Sasuke isn't someone that goes around pranking people unless provoked, and the fact that it's a curse on the gifts just isn't Naruto's style. It's too predictable and leaves too much to chance for any random passerby to discover. Those witches are probably jealous that we can hang with the hotties at Red Fountain. Stella said, but Bloom shook her head. It's not about that, Stella. I saw them use a spell earlier to look for your ring, and the snake rats are just a distraction. The Trick sisters were now outside waiting to see the action. I can't wait to see the snake rats, muttered Stormy. How will it take for the fairies to start puking? Asked Icy. One bite and it will be only a matter of seconds, chuckled Darcy. The others gagged again and were very glad those were not real. Musa thought about it and said, it's cool, we can handle it. Let's just head to the dorm room and guard the ring right now. No time, said Flora pointing to the dance. Look. The girl turned to see Sky and Timmy bring in the chest. They opened the chest. I hope you like the gifts we brought. Sky said as the girls got closer. No snake rats. Sakura said before Bloom added, they said that they would hatch from the eggs. Stella then got an idea. We need a counter spell, and fast. Let's form a circle, focus your winks. They all held hand in a circle and said, let all the dark magic be reversed. Make the eggs the way they were before they were cursed. Do you think that will work? Neji asked, getting shrugs as they could not answer that. Magic gathered from all around them and floated low towards eggs. No one noticed as the eggs shifted back the way they were. Sky handed one egg to a girl, she opened it and tiny butterflies flew out. The other girls opened the eggs and the room was filled with butterflies. The group was in awe at the sight, the girls the most. It was indeed a beautiful sight. The girls were all tired after that. This one is for you, Stella, Sky said as he held out an egg. And don't think we forgot about you, Bloom, Naruto said as he held out an egg. Sakura looked at the egg and Bloom had while Flora did a spell with the egg Stella got. Hey Naruto, I thought you would be doing a prank. Oh, I am, confirmed Naruto. It should be happening in 3, 2, 1. Naruto was no bouncing in his seat. Oh, what did I do? What did I do? Only to be hit in the head by Sakura to calm him down. Screams filled the next room, guys' screams. The girl looked in shock at the boys. They were now in nothing but boxer. Too bad they were all had girly designs on them. What the hell, Naruto? Screamed Riven, who was trying and failing to hide his pink with flower boxers as they girl all giggled. What the hell? The group could not hold it in anymore as they broke out in laughs and giggles. But it was not over yet. Sasuke was walking closer taking a few pictures. Not bad, a little tame for you though. She said, oh, it's not done yet. And the girls looked at the boys as one by one they started to do the chicken dance with polka music playing. Everyone but the boys was laughing. Lee watched the dance as everyone laughed harder at the stupid looking dance and he could not help but think it was such a youthful dance and that he should share it with Guy Sensei. Then his teammates and somewhere in the village Kakashi all shivered as they felt something bad was going to happen. Somewhere Guy could not help but think that Lee's flames of youth were burning ever brighter. On the village was going to be having nightmares for weeks. Faragonda giggled while she watched then as Miss Griselda was trying to get everything under control. She turned to the Red Fountain boys, who were still in girly boxers and dancing, before she then noticed the girls. Girls, what are you wearing? The girls stopped, giggled to see that their outfits changed. They were now dressed in bikinis with bunny tails and ears as well. They cried out in shocked at this and tried to cover up. The guys were still laughing it up before Naruto was hit over the head by Sakura for that last part, but Sakura, it wasn't me. Naruto laughed as Sasuke took more pictures. She couldn't wait to show these to Griffin and those loser witches. She wondered if they even tried to do their plan yet. You still need to get your dress ready, Bloom. Sasuke and I can keep Naruto busy for now, Sakura said, reminding Bloom to finish getting ready. I completely forgot with the witches and their plan to sabotage the gifts. Sabotaging the gifts? That was the Trix sisters' plan? Sasuke asked as Bloom nodded. The tricks? Stella asked as Sasuke started laughing. She managed to answer Stella before laughing. Icy, Darcy, and Stormy are supposed to pull a prank on the dance. It was the usual prep prank of the first year for court. I knew they'd screw up. She kept her laughter silent since, but it was still somewhat funny. Guess they did not count on the others stopping them. Tenten managed thinking of how the Trix sisters were sure they had Althea. I need some scissors to finish up my dress and Bloom was stopped when Stella said, they're in the fashion utensil case just below the jewelry box. Thanks, Stella, Bloom said as she took off back to the dorm. Once she got there she found the utensils and started working on her dress, but she noticed something. That's Stella's jewelry box, she said to no one in particular, but the reason why it was noticeable was because it was floating in the air. She followed it and tried to get it back, but it suddenly broke open and a seashell-like container floated out. Bloom remembered it since it held Stella's ring, and managed to grab it. She started back to the dorm to put on her finished dress, but Icy's voice came out, ice bracelet. Bloom was surrounded by ice below her feet. She ran and jumped as Darcy stomped her foot down shouting out, seismic heel. Bloom was caught off guard as she felt the winds gather when Stormy called out, Twister. Hey, trying fighting someone without ganging up on them. Naruto shouted annoyed. Some of the others did not want to point out that with his shadow clone he pretty much does the same thing expected does not work. I've had it with you and your little pixie friends. You counterspell our curse, and now you think you can get away with our reign. Icy said as the tornado flew towards Bloom, but before she could fall she was caught by Naruto as he said, if you're going to cause some mayhem then at least be original about it, Ibeo. Bloom was blushing, as the blonde held her bridal style. Iruka chuckled as he noticed this. Hinata looked down seeing this. While she was somewhat happy others saw him for a great guy that he was, she still hoped that she would be the one with him. You really are a loser if you need a red fountain nerd to save you. Icy said as she levitated the shell into her hand. Shall I do the honors? She asked her sisters. Don't mind here. Sure thing sister. Darcy and Stormy replied as Naruto and Bloom got ready for a fight. I don't even know why you're here. You're just a pathetic earth girl with no wings at all. Icy said, but Bloom thought different. I can't let Naruto and the others keep saving me. She snapped and yelled out, you're wrong. I do have wings. Naruto held his Fanto katana ready in an odd stance. His left hand was free and shieldless while he held it in a ready grip in his right hand that was firm but flexible. Yeah, you tell her Bloom, cheered Naruto wanting to see her prove them wrong. The others were focusing on that stance Naruto did. It looks like this Naruto has even more skill than we thought. That's right, you're not going to beat us. The Earth Girl doesn't have wings, and you're just a pathetic dead last sophomore from Red Fountain. Icy countered Naruto's statement as Bloom dug down deep. Stormy shot off a lightning bolt at Naruto, but he dispelled it with a shockwave of wind after calling out, Azure Edge. Cool, both Naruto and Konohamaru cried with stars in their eyes. I'll show you. I do have wings, I know it. Once she said that she felt a power surging through her and her outfit changed. It went from her usual blue denim pants and top into a bright blue top and skirt with her stomach exposed and a small, golden tiara on her head. She radiated power briefly with her hair flying around before it calmed down. Some of the guys blushing thinking of how much Bloom looked like a princess. Sakura and Ino looked over her outfit and were impressed. Hinata thought she did look impressive and was worried that she would get Naruto's attention. Stormy grinned and figured that Bloom was less of a treat and shot lightning at Naruto. It hit him right in the chest and knocked him back. Bloom cried out to him but all four girls were shocked to see Naruto poof into white smoke, and a charred log was where he once lay. Icy stared at the log. What's going on? That looks like, she went wide-eyed, sister. He's a shinobi. Guess they did not expect that. Shino guessed seeing their reaction. Her sister matched her look before Naruto appeared out of nowhere and kicked Darcy in the back. Icy then sent ice shards at Naruto who dodged them and ran at Stormy. Stormy sent a twister at Naruto jumped over it, much to Stormy's surprise, and then four more Narutos appeared next to him. She sent an energy blast and two poofed away but the last three were upon her. Two landed on either side of her and one attacked low, the other attacked high. Her feet were knocked from under her and she was hit in the chest. As she was falling in the air the last Naruto landed and double kick right into her torso and she groaned in pain. Icy glared at Naruto and completely ignored Bloom. How is he able to beat us without so much as a sweat? Ice coffin. She cried and went to trap all three Naruto. Before one Naruto was frozen he threw his sword at Icy who just moved out of the way. She laughed as all three were frozen. Nice that they can surround us with that clone jutsu, but it doesn't work if I can get all of them at once. She then heard something poof behind her and she turned to the Naruto throwing a punch at her. Icy landed next to her sisters, doesn't help if you overwork simple details. He said. She looked behind him and noticed that the sword was gone. Icy growled before teleporting her sister and herself away. Did you see that? I was so cool. I beat them all so easily. Naruto asked excitedly. Too bad you could not do that like you are now, Sasuke muttered. I could so. Naruto shouted. Bloom floated down with a bit of despair. I lost the reign. She said as Naruto lifted her head and looked her in the eyes. I don't think they'll be getting away with the reign. You should get changed and enjoy the dance. I think Flora took care of the witch problem. My little prank should be dying down now, and order is being restored. You still owe me a dance. Naruto said as he gave her a light kiss and went back to the party. Naruto blushed seeing this and wondering if he could give a girl a kiss like that without getting hit. Bloom took his advice and went to change. When she was done, she was truly the star of the dance as she was wearing a modified version of the dress she bought that showed her stomach like before. The group was stunned and thought Bloom looked even more impressive than before. Even Sasuke admitted that she was lovely as she said to Sakura, "It seems Naruto's found girl number 3, but she's yet to earn my respect as a potential bride." Sasuke, she only recently found about her magic, and Naruto does have good judgment. Let's wait and see where life takes her. Besides, you know the CRA back home needs at least 3 girls to work. Sakura said as they watched Naruto dance with Bloom on the floor. When the dance with Naruto ended, Sasuke took her place and danced with Naruto. Everyone was confused by this. CRA? What was that? I'm really sorry Stella, but the Trick sisters got the ring. Bloom apologized, but Stella waved it off. Don't worry Bloom, I switched the ring with the egg using a spell, and the spell Flora cast will give the Tricks a taste of their own magic. Stella said as Naruto and Sasuke walked up to hear the last part. What kind of spell did you cast? Bloom asked as Flora said, it was the June spell from the Teen Winx magazine. Sakura told me about that spell. This is just one more nail in those losers' coffin of humiliation. I'd rather hang out with Sunspot here than those 3 losers. Sasuke said, getting them all, but Naruto, off guard. Sasuke smirked before saying, did I tell you about the time Naruto pulled a big prank on the freshmen of Red Fountain? Sasuke asked as the dance continued with very little interruption. As the change began to change again Naruto pouted, but I wanted to hear the prank. Quite Naruto, ordered Sakura. I want to see what that spell was they pulled on the Tricks. Griffin stared at the Trick sisters in front of her, so, your plan failed. I am very disappointed in you 3. I figured 3 of my top students could handle one plan of mischief. There was a knock at her door. Enter, she cried. Sasuke entered and smirked seeing the other 3 there. So you 3 have been chewed out enough? She asked. Sasuke no taunting. Only I get to do that. Now I think you have something of mine? Sasuke came forward and placed a large stack of photos on Griffin's desk and a memory stick. The 4 witches saw they were pictures of the boys in the girly boxers doing the chicken dance at different poses and the girls as Playboy swim bunnies, and when Griffin put it in the memory card in a nearby computer and saw the whole prank from start to finish. New round of laughter were heard as they saw the pranks again. Griffin laughed as she picked them up and looked through them more closely. I must say, Naruto did a better job than you 3 did. And if what he said was true he kicked all 3 of your asses as you tried to escape. The girls growled at that reminder. We didn't know he was a shinobi. We were surprised by the jutsu. It wasn't the jutsu, it was his skill as a shinobi. You losers underestimated him and he used that to his advantage. Sasuke said. Naruto just grinned, it's like I keep telling everyone, don't underestimate me. Enough girls dismissed. Sasuke, I want you to give me the details of what he did. The sisters left glaring at Sasuke. Later that night they opened the shell that held Stella's ring. Inside was an egg like the one the boy uses gifts. Why would she keep it in here? Asked Icy as she opened the egg. However, when she opened the egg they found not the ring but a purple duckling. They growl as they found them have been tricked again. The group laughed again seeing the last trick being pulled before the room became back to normal. Well, that was fun, Iruka admitted. Naruto nodded, so do we keep going or see a different one? See a different what? Said a voice as someone entered the room surprising everyone. The group turned to see Anko entering the room and looking at them all. She raised a brow looking from face to face. So what is everyone doing here? Some of you seem a little too young to be in an orgy. She said with a smirk causing many to sputter. Iruka sighed before he explained what they were doing. Anko did not seem convinced. You guys seen a different world? Yeah right. Naruto frowned. Well, why not stay and you can see for yourself. Anko grinned, maybe I will. I could use a laugh. And with that Anko went over and sat right next to Naruto who was now caught in a headlock he could not get out of. And you get to sit right next to me for all the fun. So let's get this show started. The others sighed as Naruto continued to struggle. Iruka went over and started the Just You again. The new Imagine appeared and now they were outside in the village in the dead of night. They looked around with the pale moonlight shining down. Night had fallen over the village hidden in the leaves. All was quite under the pale moonlight. Then a figure leapt onto a rooftop near the Hokage Tower. The figure was average height, wearing all blue. He was wearing a blue cap clover his hair and a simple cloth mask around his eyes, the ends swaying behind him in the wind. He wore a red pouch on his right leg used to carry all that he needs. His weapon of choice, a cane with golden hook-like end. "Who's this clown?" Kiba asked. The others shrugged as they could not answer. He pulled a pair of binoculars and uses them to look at the building. One of his teammates' voice was heard over the binoculars, or as they were called, the binocucom. Calling Sitting Duck. "This is the wizard. Do ye read me, Sitting Duck?" Sitting Duck answered, "This is Peking Duck here. I hear ye loud and clear, Blizzard." His teammate groaned on the other end, "No, Sly, I am the wizard and you're Sitting Duck." Sly grinned before saying, "Whatever you say, Lizard." "No, Sly, I'm Psy. Forget it, you aren't taking this seriously." Some of the guys chuckled, already liking this guy. Sly rolled his eyes. "Yeah, I'm not. Listen, Bentley, I know you don't like working in the field, but you gotta loosen up. If we are going to get to the Forbidden Scroll, I need ye on your toes. So in plain talk, what's your status?" "Forbidden Scroll?" Naruto and Iruka wondered, thinking back to the night Naruto became a genin. The others in the room were shocked someone was going to try and steal it. "So he's a thief?" Sakura asked. "Looks like it," Shikamaru answered. "So troublesome." Lee crossed his arms. "What a very unyouthful person." Anko, however, tilted her head. "Stealing the Forbidden Scroll? Why does this seem to ring a bell?" Bentley sighed again before muttering under his breath. After a bit he said, "I have made my way into a storeroom on the 3rd floor, but I need you to unlock the door so I can get to the security terminal." Sly used his binocucom to find a path inside. "Don't worry, buddy, I will be there shortly." After Sly put his binocucom away, he ran and then jumped off the roof. He twisted in midair and landed on a tight rope leading to another building. Sly loved the abilities of his family's bloodline. His family is able to see what looks like blue sparkles around certain object where he can perform moves for those uses. Able to walk on tight ropes and wires smaller than his feet, poles to climb places to use his cane and swing away. And his favorite, Sly jumps of the rope and spins in the air before landing on a small point of a pole, the ninja spire jump. Anko whistled. "Okay, very fancy. To do all of that with no charca shows some skill." Sly jumped off and landed next to a ledge with an open window. Once he was inside, he made his way to the storeroom Bentley was at. Bentley was Sly's height, wearing light tan cloths and reflective goggles to hide his eyes. His head and hair was covered with an explorer's helmet. He carried a crossbow that held a dart. "What took ye so long?" he walked out of the storeroom. Sly just laughed and followed him. The two made their way to the security terminal and Bentley started to work his magic. His fingers were a blur as he hacked the system. First, the cameras that lead to your path are off. Next goes the alarms, and finally the security gates are down. The group was shocked as the security measures they had, which seemed more high-tech than theirs. "Okay, I am starting to become impressed with these guys," Anko said. Naruto finally got free from Anko's grip before he added, "This looks a lot harder than it should be." Iruka nodded. "I agree, we don't have that kind of security and I don't know where we can get it." Shikamaru eyed Bentley, wondering about him, but thought it was too troublesome to say anything. Bentley turned to Sly. "The path to your rendezvous point is now clear. Once you get there and make your way to Murray, where you can get a clean shot to the vault. I will turn the alarms back on so the Anbu won't be alerted. I will stay here to change the alarms for you when needed." Sly nodded as he went ahead. He got halfway when he heard Bentley on the speakers. "Attention, this is maintenance speaking. We are going through a system purge as well as an update of the systems. Some security measures will be shut down temporarily, so do not be alarmed. All Anbu, keep up your guard while this is happening." Sakura had a deadpan look on her face. "Yeah, right. Like they are dumb enough to fall for that." Sly smiled as he made it to the next floor and over to a window. Sly opened it and jumped out. He twisted in midair and landing on a rope between two buildings. He made a simple run on the tight ropes and up one level till he made it to a store not far from tower. He entered one of the storerooms only to see a gate blocking his way. "Murray is late again," mumbles Bentley over his comm link. "Try and see if you can make way without him." "I wonder who this Murray guy is," Kiba said as he figures it was someone strong. Lee nodded. "Indeed, but I know that this Murray will be incredibly youthful." He added this with his eyes glinting and a fist pump. Sly took barely 3 steps when he heard a loud huffing and puffing. Then he heard the voice of his friend shouting, "Thunderflop." Sly dived out of the way as Murray broke through the glass roof above him and belly flopped into the center of the room. Everything around Murray was sent flying or was crushed from the force. Murray stood and smiled at his friend. He was taller than Sly and had a bit of a large belly. He was wearing a large purple short-sleeve shirt and cargo pants held but a thick leather belt. He had brown leather gloves and a brown leather mask that covered his whole head except for his eyes and mouth. Clear goggles cover his eyes that seemed to shine with excitement. "Greetings, friend. I hope you weren't harmed by my powerful entrance." Sly could not help but smile. "No, Murray, I kept my distance." "Good," said Murray with a nod. "'Cause the Thunderflop knows neither friend nor foe, only destitution." The group blinked seeing Murray. Lee, however, cried out, "Yosh! This Murray's flames of youth are burning ever bright." The group groaned but watched on that the gang would do next. Sly rolled his eyes at his friend's antics. But he wouldn't have it any other way. "Yeah, maybe you can channel some of that raw energy into that gate here. Of course, that puny gate is no match for the might of the Murray," Murray said as he flexed his muscles. Then Murray went to the gate and started to lift it up. After 30 seconds he held it above his head. "Okay, all clear." And Sly ran under the gate and into another room. Sly ignored the door that led to the shop below and stood before another gate. Murray pushed the gate higher above him and ran through before the gate shut behind him. Murray made quick work of the second gate and now Sly and Murray were on a rooftop, one floor below the Hokage's office, but could see clearly what was happening inside. "So he is strong and most likely a taijutsu user," Neji observed. "Makes sense," Tenten agreed, seeing how easily Murray lifted those thick metal gates. They both noticed several Anbu standing guard in the office. "Sorry guys, but the Anbu decided till all the alarms were back online, they added more Anbu into the office. I can't get rid of them without setting off an alarm somewhere which we would need for later." "Don't worry, the Murray has this covered," said Murray, and he lifted up a large crate. With great force he threw it to the street below and the crate smashed into a stand. The two hid as the Anbu disappeared from the office to investigate the noise not far from them. "There you go, Sly, the path is clear. I have no way into there, so I will meet you at the rendezvous point." Sly smiled at his friend. "Killer work, Murray. I will meet Ye and Bentley there, this shouldn't take long." "This plan is going really smoothly," Ino said with a pout. "Why can't some of our ninja mission go like this?" Iruka chuckled at her questions. "'Cause even if you plan many different moves, there are always some things you never see coming or expect to happen." Sly entered the Hokage's office and looked around before spotting the sofa. As he walked toward it, Bentley spoke over their comm link. "Are you sure this is where the safe is located?" "Yeah, I'm sure. The second Hokage placed a fake safe behind the picture of his brother that is a trap to fool and catch any thieves looking for the village's secrets. The real safe is hidden in plain sight." And Sly reached for the wall above the sofa and pulled. A fake screen was pulled from the wall showing a large seal array the size of Sly's torso. Anko whistled before she glanced at Iruka. "You think Lady Tsunade will consider this idea?" "I'm sure Master Jiraiya could make a seal for the safe." Iruka thought about it and found the idea very promising. "I will run the idea by her later and see what she thinks. It could make it easier to keep some of our village's secrets safe." "Are you sure you can handle that? It will sure be hard to crack," asked Bentley as Sly held up his right hand to the seal array. "Of course, all it takes is a light touch," Sly said as he held only his pointing finger, middle finger and thumb. Each digit gained a small blue flame made of chakra. He placed his hand on one ring of seals. Slowly he turned his hand, turning the ring with him. He learned this from the Thievius Raccoonus. With seals and safes like this, all he had to do was focus some chakra into the safe in the right spot and slowly turn it like you were the one unlocking it. He had to feel his chakra for, well, the only word he could describe it is vibrations. He then turns it the other way, still feeling for the vibrations. Then one final time, then the safe is cracked. Sly smiled as the safe unlocked when he pulled his hand away. The safe opened up and Sly peered inside. There were several files for the Hokage's eyes only, as well as several other important secrets to the village. Then he found the large forbidden scroll. He took out the scroll and tied it to his back. He then pulled out a small blue card that was shaped and looked like a raccoon. It was his family symbol and sacred animal. It was also the calling card to the first Sly Cooper. Like his namesake before him, he always leaves them when he pulled off a heist. The group raised a brow but shrugged. Most came from a clan and could respect having a scared animal or symbol. Iruka found it interesting this thief has a name Sake and wondered who that was like. His victory was short-lived because he barely turned around to see someone he knew body flicker into the room. Anko, flashing me again I see, don't you ever get cold wearing that? Anko blinked seeing herself appear. Okay, this is a surprise. She then grinned, still it looks like we have a history if he can banter with me like that. The special Junin smirked at the thief. Why do you help me warm up in my interrogation cell? Sorry, I'm saving myself for a special girl. If she ever breaks my heart you can help me pick up the pieces. In fact I think I will go meet her right now. You aren't going anywhere Cooper, shouted Anko as she sent several snakes out of her sleeves at him. They bit into him, only to rip the paper dummy instead. She quickly looked around to see the door open and found him running down the hall. Wow, you must really not like this guy, Naruto said seeing how fast that version of Anko got angry and went after Sly. Anko nodded but wondered what happened to make her act like that. As she gave chase he heard on the speakers, intruder alert. All Anbu report to the 3rd floor, East Wing. Anko smirked. Reinforcements got you now Coop. Wait a minute, that's not even close to where we are. Anko growled and gained speed to try and catch him while throwing kunai at him. Sly dodged the kunai as he went down a different hallway and Bentley and Murray ran up to him, following him away from the yells from Anko. This was not part of the plan, screamed Bentley and he ducked under a thrown kunai. Relax Bentley. This is where it gets fun, Sly said as all three of them jumped away from the wave of weapons. Anko was getting closer to them. Meet you guys at the safe house, I will lose Miss Wet Dream here. Anko frowned starting to get annoyed at all these nicknames like she was some easygoing girl. Sure she figured she was a wet dream to some perverts in the village but to say it like that. Then all three of them jumped, breaking through the windows and went off in 3 directions. Anko jumped after them and started to follow Sly. The two jump across rooftops in their little game of cat and mouse. Iruka blinked as he watched this. He was reminded of the few times Naruto was chased around the village because he pulled a big prank. No, it can't be. Sly finally stopped and turned towards Anko twirling his cane in one hand. Anko stopped in front of him, her hand loose to the sides ready to send her snakes out of her sleeves at him. End of the line Cooper, she said ready for any move he makes. Sly gave her that smile. Yeah sorry our game has to end with the same results as always. Before he slammed the bottom of his cane down on the roof, creating a smokescreen. Anko sent 2 snakes into the smoke but they caught nothing. When the smoke cleared she screams in anger before jumping off trying to find anything to lead her to him. Okay he's good but he must have really got under my skin to get me like that. Anko added wondering why the scene stay in that one spot after she left. Yeah who could he be? Ino asked confused on the matter. After a minute Sly appeared out of thin air as he lowered his shadow power move. He smiled and he started to walk off toward the safe house as he pulled off his hat, showing his blonde hair. Eyes started to go wide seeing the spiky blonde hair. What a night, now to go and get that headband in this extra credit test. He said as he pulled off his mask and rubbed his cheek with the back of his gloved hand, wiping off the makeup hiding his whisker marks. Naruto Uzumaki jumped off toward his friends at the safe house, his smile never leaving his face. The scene ended and the room returned to normal. All of them were stunned even if Naruto and the Konohamaru Corps has stars in their eyes. That was awesome, Naruto cried out jumping into the air. Did you see me? I was like some super ninja. Naruto victory was short-lived when Anko grabbed him and placed the genin into a headlock. She grinned giving him a nagi, not bad brat. Too bad you can ever be as cool. The others laughed as Naruto struggled to get free and cried out in pain at Anko's treatment. It took at least 10 minutes to get free from Anko much to Naruto's displeasure. He kept glaring at her who simply was not affected and stuck her tongue out. Iruka sighed but managed to convince Naruto to start the view orb again. Naruto agreed and started it all up again. The room vanished and replaced with the outside of the village. But unlike last time it was day and people were moving about. They looked around before they saw Sakura leaving her house. Sakura smiled as she left her house to get to her last day at the academy. She was finally a ninja and the start of her goal to find and maybe catch Sly Cooper. She knew Sly was a master thief, so to get even close to him she needed to get high in ninja rank to even get any kind of mission to find or catch him or even get to go after him. She wasn't paying attention to where she was going and found Ino walking next to her. "Hey, Sakura, have you been listening?" She turns her head towards Ino. "I'm sorry, did you say something?" Lee froze. "Oh Sakura. You have taken your sensei's cool and hip attitude. What a true moment in your life that we must remember." His teammates just groaned, yes, even Neji. Sakura gave him a deadpan look. "Yeah sure, whatever." They didn't notice a green-wearing Junin hearing them before turned to his rival and gave him his good guy pose. "Kakashi, your cool and hip attitude is spreading to those youthful genin. I must work harder to have Lee and my other students spread the flames of youth." Kakashi looked up from his book and asked, "I'm sorry Guy, did you say something?" Guy looked stunned before shouting, "Curse your cool and hip attitude, Kakashi." Lee's eyes burned with a fire in them. "Guy-sensei. I will work hard to show that my flames of youth." "Brushy brow, can you keep it down?" Naruto asked, annoyed, not noticing some of the looks he was getting. "It hasn't even been a minute and I want to see what else my guy can do." Back to the girls. Ino rolled her eyes. "I swear you have that thief on the brains. You didn't even hear me talk about him." This got her attention. "Really, what did he do this time?" Ino smirked at this. He and his team entered the tower and stole the forbidden scroll. They got away from that crazy special Junin that always chases them. "I know he sent the scroll back, but he got past all the Anbu to do so." Sakura closed her eyes and thought about what Sly had to go through to pull off that job. Ino noticed the smirk on Sakura's face and could not help but tease her. "I guess you want to be the one that chases him, right? What are you going to do when you catch him?" She had a knowing smirk on her face that told everyone what she thought Sakura would do. Sakura blinked, seeing how her counterpart was acting. Did she not have a crush on Sasuke here? And more importantly, did she really have a crush on Naruto? Even if her counterpart does not know it was him. Sakura blushed. "Knock it off, Ino. I doubt I could even catch him." Ino shook her head at her friend's not-so-secret crush on the handsome thief. "So how did you even get to meet Sly?" Sakura sighed dreamily before beginning what she knew. He was stealing from Choji's clan and he was getting away. Choji frowned hearing Naruto was stealing from his clan as the scene changed, showing a flashback. Flashback. Sakura was getting ready for bed. She had already dried herself off from the shower and put some red pajamas on. She yawned as she started to make poses in the mirror. "Sasuke-kun's going to love me when I show how I can be," she thought, but looked at her own chest. "Too bad my ass aren't big." Sakura puffed out her cheeks, annoyed. Sure, she did not have a very curvy figure, but did she have to point it out to everyone? Naruto pouted, thinking Sakura was perfect just the way she was. "I think you're perfect just the way you are," a voice said, causing Sakura to turn and see someone her age. He was in dark blue shirt and gray pants with black boots. He also wore a utility belt with a raccoon-shaped buckle and a blue hat on his head. She gasped at the intruder in her room. Who are you and what do you want?" she asked, showing fear as she never heard or sensed him coming. He had a playful, almost cheeky, smile on his face as he answered, "The name's Cooper, Sly Cooper, and I'm a thief by trade." Sakura worried about this and cursed herself for not having her kunai nearby. Anko tisked at this. "You got to keep a kunai on you like you were expected to be attacked at any time. Even in the hot springs." Everyone looked at her as most blushed as they wondered where she would have kept a kunai in the hot springs. "I don't have anything of value." Please go away," Sakura said, but he didn't. Instead, he stepped closer to her. "I'm a master thief. I could rob anyone blind, but it takes guts to aim for something when the person knows it," he said, getting closer and closer as she kept her distance from him. "I don't know what you talking abo," Sakura started, but was stopped as he rushed right up to her and kissed her. She couldn't help herself and returned it. The room was shocked, but none more than Naruto and Sakura. Naruto envied his counterpart and wished he could do that with Sakura. Sakura sat there open-mouthed, seeing Naruto, Sly kiss her like that. Even more of how she was not putting up a fight. The others were quiet, except for Anko, who chuckled. Iruka even smiled, happy for his little brother actually making a move on a girl. "This is so wrong, but it feels so good. This what kissing feels like," she thought as their tongues started to battle for dominance for a brief moment before he broke it off. "That was the first thing I stole from you, but a kiss will not satisfy me forever." Sly said as he placed a box on her desk and started out the window. He turned back and said, "Tonight, I stole your first kiss, but what I want to steal is your heart, your love." A Cooper always gets what he wants to steal, but until then, sayonara, Sakuraheim, he said as he jumped down. She rushed to the window and saw that he wasn't there anymore. End flashback. The room returned to Ino and Sakura, showing that the flashback was over. "And in that box is a ring that would take my parents years to save up to buy." Ino sighed. It was so romantic she felt a little jealous. She knew Sasuke wasn't Sly cause he was seen during some of the time the Cooper gang acted and was sometimes the victim of their schemes. At least this explains why Sakura lost interest in Sasuke. "So how do you even plan to get to Sly?" "I got to get up in the ranks first. They won't let Genin go after him. Plus I need a lot more training from my sensei to even match his skills." "Good luck with that," said a voice to the side. They looked to see Anko eating some dangos. "I hardly ever get him to fight, so I don't know his skills in that, but he is fast, sneaky and clever." She took a finish the last of her dangos and muttered, "When I get my hands on that bastard." "Why do you hate him so much?" asked Sakura. Anko actually leaned forward, slightly interested in the backstory. "I guess it goes back to when I first tried to catch him." The room changed again as another flashback formed. Flashback. Sly was running across the rooftops to get away from the Inuzuka clan and their ninja dogs. The dogs were catching fast and he needed to lose them. Luckily Bentley figured out a way to get rid of them. Kiba snorted, "I doubt it. Our hounds are trained to avoid anything to keep them from tracking their target." He pulled a jar from his pouch and threw it to one of the passing rooftops. The jars smashed and the liquid spread along the surface. He threw another one just to be safe and the dogs went straight for the smell. This caused Kiba to blink before he shot forward, looking at the scene closer. What the hell did he use to stop them? He blinked as he saw even his mother's partner stop tracking Naruto, Sly. He never thought he would see the day the older dog would be stopped like that. The clan members were confused and tried to get their partners to go after Sly. Even the clan head, Sume Inuzuka, could not get her partner to move. Then she smelled what the dogs were sniffing at. How the hell did he get the smell of a bitch in heat? Akumaru gave a small bark as he lifted his head from his perch Kiba's head at the words, while Kiba blinked before he gained a deadpan look. "Yeah, that'll do it." Anko was holding her side, laughing uncontrollably. Sly laughed as he stopped to take breather as he found himself alone. "Well, Bentley will be happy to hear that it worked." "Not bad, for a brat," said a voce behind him. Sly looked over his shoulder to see Anko leaning against the wall. "I was expecting a little more from the village's most famous thief." "Oh well, this will be a bonus for me. Let me guess, you aren't paid enough for your mission, so you save money by not buying bras or shirts." Sly joked, eyeing her. Anko chuckled slightly after she had calmed down. She was not insulted really, and she liked how she looked. Plus it made teasing little Genin so much fun. Anko laughed, "Not bad at all, at least you know how to banter. Don't get many of those these days. But how do you want this? Give up now and I won't embarrass you in the most inhuman way possible." Sly matched the smirk she was giving. "Sorry, but my friends are expecting me. But before I go, I hope you don't mind that I keep these." He showed his cane, showed what was hanging off the hook. "But I must say silk lace, so that is where all your money is going." And he backed, flipped off the roof and out of sight. Everyone was still and wide-eyed at what they just seen. Anko was still gasping at what happened to her counterpart. Did that just happen? How did he do that? We didn't even see him." Then to realize the brat did. "I am going to kill him." Naruto shivered for some reason as he watched. He could not believe his counterpart just did that. Even he was not crazy enough to pull that off. Anko stared wide-eyed at where Sly was. She felt under her skirt to feel what she feared. How did he? When did he? Then it clicked and Anko shouted out for the whole village to hear, "Cooper." "Well, that explains a lot." Iruka muttered, getting Anko to glare at him before she turned her glare at Naruto and seems to be holding herself back from jumping onto him. End flashback. The two Genin girls looked at her with wide eyes. "So, he just stole your panties and took off?" Ino asked as Anko nodded. "Yep, and I didn't even notice till after he showed me. I'll catch that crafty raccoon if it's the last thing I do," Anko said before body flickering away from the two. "You have my pity, Naruto," Choji muttered, knowing that if he was caught by the woman he would be a dead man. Anko growled out and Naruto scooted closer to Iruka, hoping to use him for protection. I think we should get to class. We've got to find out who's on whose team, Sakura said as she started off. I wonder who on earth is Sly Cooper. You have to admit he's better than a Junin when it comes to stealth, Ino said as they entered the classroom and sat beside each other. They were oddly enough beside Sasuke chatting about Sly. Shikamaru and Choji were sitting with Naruto, who sighed as he looked at Sakura. Sakura-chan, I wish I could go out with you just once, Naruto said as he thought about that night. Troublesome women, you really sure you want to think about her? Shikamaru asked. Naruto glared at him. He's just jealous that he did not have a hot girl like Sakura to be after. Tamari sneezed quickly, wondering where that came from. Naruto nodded adamantly. Of course, Blizzard. She's one of the most beautiful women in Konoha, and that's including some of the older women. Everyone blinked again before Shikamaru groaned. Troublesome, looks like I'm Bentley. Add the fact Choji is next to us and acting like he knows what Naruto is talking about points out that he is Murray. I blame you, Naruto, for getting me into that mess. Naruto glared at him. At least he does something. All you do is look at clouds and sleep. Shikamaru ignored him, not seeing what the problem was in that. Shikamaru grumbled at that as Naruto said that mishap. Choji chuckled as he munched on his bag of chips. Well, maybe not all of them, he muttered as he peeked towards Ino before looking away. Ino blinked here, as did Choji, who paused with a chip halfway to his mouth. Ino laughed softly while Choji blushed slightly. Naruto caught him but smiled anyway. So my friends, any bets on the teams this year? Shikamaru looked at Naruto before closing his eyes and laying his head on his arms. The only one worth mentioning are us, and that is a given, although our fathers wanted to do a second generation of the Ino Shika-cho group. The Hokage know that we are a better team, brothers closer than by blood, and work better than any genin team here. I think Shino, Kiba and Hinata will be a team and be an outstanding recon and tracking team. The only ones left worth saying are Sasuke, Sakura and Ino, so I say they will be together. Both Ino and Sakura, at the fact in the world both of them got to be on Sasuke's team. Sasuke's eyebrow twitched and felt pity for his counterpart, though they did recall that Sakura was not interested in Sasuke here. Both Naruto and Choji scowled at Sasuke having their crushes on his team. Choji ate another chip and said, "Do ye think our sensei will know of our other team?" "Most likely," Naruto answered. "The old man would not want our potential ruined by not having someone work with our other selves. I am surprised he did not have us become genin before." Choji said, "I mean, Naruto can sneak by and steal from Anbu. I am stronger than most Chunin and can take a team of them in only taijutsu, and Shikamaru can outsmart almost any Junin." Naruto could not help but grin here. His counterpart seemed so cool and was on a kick-ass team. "We did nothing to show for it, we do that as the gang." Shikamaru replied, "He would need a reason to make someone a genin, and it would have our secret get out. And there are plenty of people that are after our head for the stuff we stole and made fools of. Like that special Junin whose thong that Naruto stole from." Naruto laughed at that memory. Naruto would have as well, but help Anko's glare at the back of his head and tried to be as small as possible. "Why is she mad at me? I didn't do anything." Meanwhile, Asuma walked on towards the academy thinking, the teams haven't been formed quite yet, but that is one hell of a secret, he thought as he remembered the brief meeting with his father. Flashback. Some of the genin side seen another flashback. "Man, how many more will there be?" Kiba asked. "I do believe it is important," Shino said. "It gives us some important backstory to the people that is our counterparts." Asuma, "I have something to tell you and you alone. Everyone else is dismissed." The other Junin nodded and left after hearing the assigned teams. Asuma looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen, his father, with a playful eye. "So what's so important that you need this to be private?" he asked. Sarutobi had a small smirk before he spoke. "If you must know, it's the fact that the new Squad 10 will not be the usual Ino Shikacho trio, but a new trio." Asuma was surprised, but not that much. Most of the Junin were just told what squads they would train or request to train. "Hokage-sama, are you sure that's wise? The Ino Shika-cho trio hasn't failed us before, so, you know something, don't you?" he asked after catching the amused smirk of his elderly father. "Indeed I do, Asuma-kun. This new team will be the Naru Shika-cho trio this time, and there is a reason behind this." Asuma had frowned a bit at this. It was one thing to alter a team, but he thought the team was perfectly unbalanced. I don't mean any disrespect to you Pops, but the team doesn't really match up. Naruto's grades are just higher than Shikamaru's, and he's too hyper to sit still. Choji and Shika already know each other's moves, but it's still a lot of work to just incorporate new moves and fighting styles of taijutsu. Naruto frowned at this as he knew Asuma was pretty much saying it was all his fault they would not be a good team. That would be true, unless they already did just that. Here is encountered Asuma's statement. This got his attention long enough to continue. This is because your new Squad 10 is also the famous Cooper gang that have been stealing from the various clans of the village. I'm sure you've heard of the Forbidden Scroll incident. Yeah, just about everyone's heard about it, but why aren't they in jail for this? I know you'll show leniency due to their age, but they have caused a lot of trouble. Asuma questioned. Hiruzen smirked as he said, he asked me the same thing when I confronted him the first time, and I answered. This crystal ball focuses my vision to anywhere in Konoha. This could be considered cheating as I could focus my thoughts on where you are and see you stealing things like that ring, but as far as I'm concerned you haven't been caught. Just like I told him, I'm telling you that as far as anyone's concerned he just hasn't been caught. End flashback. As the flashback ends, Naruto smiled sadly as he was sure the old Hokage would do the same thing if he was here. I will make you proud, old man. The other Konoha genin all had similar looks as they stayed quite out of respect for the late Kage. So he waited in the hallway thinking about his team. If they were really the Cooper gang then they know and may be able to handle some mission. They already act as a team so he had less to work with. He began to think of a test for them. He can't make it too easy like stealing something. He knew that they could pass and become genin easy but he did not want to make it that easy for them. Naruto shot Shikamaru a look as he called the teams correctly but moved to talk to Sakura. Hey Sakura, care to have lunch with me and my team? Sakura looked at him before shaking her head. Not now Naruto, leave me alone. The real Naruto felt pity for his counterpart as he knew what the young teen felt. Naruto slumped as she walked away. His friends pat him on the shoulders and lead him out to get some lunch before meeting their sensei. That's not fair. She likes my other half but shoots down the one that can be with her. Ino giggled. Well, won't be in for a shock when she finds out. Sakura glanced at her but figured that she would indeed be shocked at news like that. Well, that's love, too troublesome. Breathing would be troublesome for you if it didn't mean you can't watch clouds anymore. Grumbled Naruto, annoyed at the jest from him. Shikamaru raised a brow but shrugged at this. Shikamaru shrugged as the move passed a Junin leaning against the wall in the hallway. Having trouble with the ladies, kid? He asked. Naruto flipped him off. I don't need advice from a guy who is likely still a virgin. Anko, who's still mad at Naruto, snickered at this. Oh, I got to remember to tease him about that. Asuma eyebrow twitched at the jab while his new team laughed. Well, why don't you use your cool attitude to woo her, Sly? That got their attention as they stopped and turned to face him. Asuma smirked. The name is Asuma and I am your new Junin sensei. Since I got your attention, let's talk elsewhere. Now follow me, Asuma said, and they started to follow him. They eventually came to a nice secluded area in one of the training grounds. Now, how about we start with an introduction? He asked as the three of them looked at Asuma. How about you start with yourself, and why don't you tell us how you knew about our other team? Naruto asked, almost going into his sly mode. Name's Sarutobi Asuma, my hobby's smoking, I dislike traitors and idiots, and my dreams are to get you guys working as great shinobi, and getting the girl of my dreams. As for how I knew, my old man told me about it. He answered, and they were mildly annoyed at the fact that the Hokage told someone else. Well, someone had to find out sooner or later. Iruka muttered. Well, I guess I'll go first. I'm Nara Shikamaru, and I think this is troublesome. My hobby is cloud watching, and my dream is to become a decent shinobi and marry an average girl and have a few children. On Team Cooper I'm called Bentley. Shikamaru said, going first. Then Choji decided to speak up. I'm Akamichi Choji, and my hobbies include eating and practicing the family jutsu. My dreams are to marry the girl of my dreams and become a good clan head. When on the other job, I'm the brawn known as the Murray. It was then Naruto's turn. My name's Uzumaki Naruto, and my hobbies are pranks and training. My likes include Sakura-chan, learning things about my clans and bloodline, and stealing from jerks. My dislikes include jerks and people who can't see what's underneath the underneath. My dreams are to become the best Hokage ever, and become a master thief like my ancestors before me. When on a job, I'm known as Sly. Naruto was quiet as he heard his counterpart's intro. At least this Naruto knew who his family was and had a cool bloodline. He envied the teen, but at the same time he was happy for him. Asuma blew some smoke from his cigarette before saying, "Well, I am in a dilemma right now. I know you guys already work as a team and are skilled, but I don't know how skilled. So here is the deal. Junin have to test their genin to see if they have what it take to be genin. In fact, I know you could pass a test of a friend of mine that force many genin hopefuls to fail. I want you guys to fight me until I say so." They look at one another before asking, "Fight you like the gang or like we are now?" "So we have two different fighting styles?" Choji asked. Shikamaru sighed, "It makes sense really. Anyone can figure out who we are if they notice our taijutsu styles are the same as ours." Asuma thought about it, smart, having two different fighting styles for their names so no one can confuse them with their other name. As you are now, you might have to work with different team and you don't want your secret exposed. The team nodded and Naruto pulled out his bow staff. He twirled it around and got into his stance. Naruto blinked seeing the staff. "Wait, since when could I use that?" "You can't," Sasuke reminded him, "but it seems that he can." Naruto glared at him but said nothing. Asuma got ready to move and shouted, "Begin," and he jumped away. Naruto charged first and swung his staff at his side. Asuma blocked it but had to jump away as Shikamaru's shadow nearly caught. He slid to a stop only to dodge a large spinning boulder. They do work well as a team even when fighting as themselves. Naruto is fast and unpredictable, Shikamaru is smart and has his shadow jutsu, and Choji is a heavy hitter. I have my work cut out for me. Naruto was on him again and Asuma got out a kunai to block Naruto's strikes. He ducked under an enlarged arm of Choji trying to knock him out. The two continued to double-team him before he noticed the two of them suddenly closed their eyes. He spotted a small orb out of the corner of his eye being thrown at him and release it was a flash bomb. The bright light blinded Asuma before he could cover his face. Anko scoffed at how Asuma was falling for some of these tricks. He's just going easy on them. Before Asuma could escape he froze as Shikamaru bonded with his shadow. Choji grabbed him with his enlarged hands and Naruto had his bow staff under his chin forcing his head up. Asuma felt embarrassed that they were able to catch him so easily. I underestimated them, but they did work well as a team. He smiled as his vision cleared. Well, I think I have a new team. The team smirked and released their new sensei. I guess that wasn't too troublesome. We only need to use one plan, Shikamaru said. Choji chuckled as he ate a few more chips. That's Shika for yay. Always making more plans than needed. Asuma raised an eyebrow. So you had more plan to beat me if that didn't work? He nodded. We have plans made to fight certain type of fighter or Pacific fighter when we enough time and data. But I guess it was not needed. Naruto smirked. Don't feel too bad, sensei, we work out how to fight people as the gang for a long time if we need to. Asuma nodded. Training starts tomorrow and then we can do some missions. Naruto smirked. That works, we have a job tonight anyways so we should be fine. And with that they left the field. Asuma felt a little dread. He knew this team was going to be a handful. Iruka smiled knowing that this Naruto was in good hands. The scene changed into the village at night. Now what? Ino asked knowing Naruto, Sly was up to no good again. That night Sly ran from the newly dressed Anbu will carry a large bag over his shoulder. He was just in Anbu headquarters and stole their armor and masks. He did leave new masks, the same shape and color as his calling card. He looked over at them. I don't really know why you guys are mad. I think you all look better than before. Ha 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 ha. The laughter could not be contained any longer as the guys plus Anko fell off their chairs laughing. Sasuke stared unable to believe something like that happened to the Anbu. He ducked under a throw kunai and smirked. Hey guys. Want to see a new trick I learned from the scroll? Shadow clone jutsu. And several clone of Sly appear in a large cloud of smoke around him and they ran off in different directions. The Anbu split up to find which one was the real one. When they pass a box on a rooftop it transformed into Sly. I swear they don't ever think outside the box. Sly smiled and jumped away into the night. I doubt the Anbu Black Ops would fall for that, Sakura said as the room returned to normal. True, Iruka admitted, but I'm sure they had other things on their mind and not thinking clearly. Naruto smirked, glad his counterpart was able to pull such a good prank. So what now? A new one, or we go back to the last one?
That's all for now. If you enjoy this video, then please like, share and do comments.